yeah, now, my people, it's your guy, Kunle, aka the Nigerian Englishman.
And it's your boy Kanebi, aka Mr. Go Ball, Go Ball, Go Ball.
And welcome to another episode of Round on the Ground. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Finally, World Cup madness has finally ended. Some people in the comment section and online have been saying it's the best World Cup ever. Let me know what you think. It's not my best World Cup ever, but Kanebi, I don't know about you. Last night was definitely the best World Cup final I've witnessed. I don't know about you. What are you saying?
Well, it's probably one of the best World Cups ever, but I don't know about it being the best World Cup, but I think it was a great final. It was a great spectacle. 3-3, extra time, penalties. It had everything. It had drama. It had passion. It had us on the edge of our seats. And at the end of the day, the king was crowned. And I'm not going to lie, it's probably the best final I've ever witnessed in my entire life.
Definitely. And for me, the way the game went, I didn't see it playing out like that. But the fact that it was 3-3 at the end just shows you a testament to how effective France are in moments.
Yeah. And I think for France, the problem was they just needed to rely much more on their speed and their physicality. I think they went with Giroud. They started with Giroud. They started with Dembele.
Would you have started the same lineup as them?
Well, obviously, the manager went with what was tried and trusted, and he went with experience because these were the same players who won the World Cup for him in the last final they played in. But unfortunately, Argentina is a high-pressing team. They're a team, they run off the ball. They never get tired. They rely so much on their high press. So I think he could have gone with a lot more speed. You could see when Colomani came into the game changed a bit.
Yeah.
Everything went different. There was a lot more speed. And Thuram also provided with putting Mbappe in the middle, and you saw the difference.
And that was the difference because it was at 2-0. I don't even remember me. I was like, game over. You were like, there's still more time to play. I said, game over because France didn't look in it. But as you said, that specific change, putting Kylian down the middle, giving him just to focus on running him behind and finding space, and he woke up. And he definitely lit up the World Cup final. And for me, from the second half through until extra time, he was the best player on the pitch.
He was the best player on the pitch. And for me, Mbappe played a blinder in the last 15 minutes. I don't know about the whole of the game because for 17 minutes...
He was non-existent.
The whole entire French team were asleep for 17 minutes. I mean, it's like after 17 minutes, they realized they were in a World Cup final.
Literally.
And, for Didier Deschamps, yes, his selection was poor. He could have gone with Thuram. He could have gone with Colomani at the start. And the likes of Koundé, Dembele is a poor defender. You can't tell Dembele to defend. But it's not his strength.
That whole right side is kind of weird to me. Koundé and Dembele, it's kind of...
Yeah, because you have a central defender playing right back. And Dembele has no liberty to go up front because you have the likes of Monila. Argentina played with wing backs. Yeah. Coming in, bombing forward, and it was basically... They got tactically schooled for 17 minutes.
For sure.
They got tactically schooled. After 17 minutes... They woke up with those changes and
also the change of Di Maria.
Yeah, the change of Di Maria. Di Maria was a man looking for blood yesterday, And you see when you have players like Di Maria, who, for me, even in the Champions League final, Real Madrid against Atletico Madrid, he was the main guy who got Real Madrid over the final. Same here yesterday, against France. You could see his desire. He won the penalty. He scored the goal. He scored the second goal. His desire to get on the ball, to go at players,
to make a difference,
stretch the pitch, to go at the byline. And for me, Di Maria, people are talking about Messi. Yes, Di Maria is one of those players who deserve the World Cup too.
For sure. Big game player, 100%. And the craziest thing about this whole Argentina thing, Kanebi, is this is the same team that lost to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But everyone was saying it's over. They're done. Argentina are bums. Messi's stinking up the World Cup.
Reminds me of Spain.
Can you imagine?
It reminds me of Spain. When Spain won the World Cup in South Africa, they lost their first game 1-0. And everybody thought, oh, can they do it? But they went, they regrouped, and they came in. People forget that this Argentinian team, they've only lost one game in about 40.
That is true.
They've only lost one game in about 40. So they've been on a wild run. There's a togetherness. There's a spirit. There's this desire to win, and they wanted it more yesterday on the pitch.
And you know what? These records, like they came, was it a 36 game unbeaten run
Yeah.
or something like that? These records, it always is something random that ends these records.
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean that people should now think that team is done, but that surprise woke them up. And Argentina, for me, are the definition of getting progressively better every single game, learning from each game.
Yeah, yeah.
Really
And you could tell they are a family. They're not just teammates. They're a family. Yeah. There's a unity there. You saw at the end of the game, Aguero come in, wearing the shirt. Apparently, Aguero has been even staying in Messi's room. Same way they have been doing all their in every tournament.
Yeah.
And
for real?
Yeah, he was his roommate. So you could see Aguero there. They're all celebrating, and oh my God, Emi Martinez. People are not talking about
what a revelation.
People are not talking about Emi Martinez. Emi Martinez, since he's been in the Argentinian team, I mean, come on. They have been a different side.
Penalty shootout.
He's brought personality.
Yeah.
He's brought grit, and he's brought fantastic goal penalty saving ability to this team. That, well, we all knew that once the penalty shootout came through, Emi Martinez was going to save at least one penalty.
Facts.
At least one penalty.
Facts. And I said it. France's biggest problem is they must win this game while they're in 120 minutes. Because if it goes to penalties, we know Martinez's record.
They've never played extra time, you know.
Who?
France are not used to playing extra time.
Thinking about it.
I
don't remember them playing extra time since 98.
Yeah, since Croatia.
The Croatia game.
Yeah,
they've
not played extra time. They don't play extra time. They're not used to. But Argentina played extra time against Croatia.
That's crazy.
Yes, they played extra time against Croatia. They went all the way. No, they didn't play extra time against Croatia. They played extra time against someone in this tournament.
Who, Argentina?
Yeah.
Holland.
Yes, Holland. And they've already experienced that. And even in the Copa America, they played the penalty shootout with Colombia.
Right.
So they've been there. They've done that. They've been on a winning streak. They know what it takes now, and they knew what it took to win the World Cup. And kudos to them, and kudos to Scaloni. He's changed Argentinian football, because Argentina football was in the dark for so long. They were under the shadow of the Brazilians for so long, and now they can have their say. We don't know if they're going to win another World Cup anytime soon. Who knows? Only the future can tell. But so far, right now, they're the number one team in the world.
Champions. Ankara Messi, the main man, the GOAT. Is there a debate anymore, bro? Did last night end all debates? I just want to list, I'm not even going to list the club stats. I just want to talk about the stats for country. Most cap player for Argentina, 172 caps. Most goals for Argentina, 98 goals. Most caps for South American nation, that's Lionel Messi. He's the guy that's got the most caps for any country in South America. Most goals from a South American, Lionel Messi. First player to score in 4 different World Cups for Argentina. He is he's the most Argentina World Cup goals. It's record upon record. The only player ever to score in every knockout stage, bro. And let's just sprinkle a little bit of 7 Ballon d'Ors on top of that. Is there a debate anymore, Kanebi? That's why I want to. Is there a debate?
Well,
and who is it with?
It depends on who you're debating with. We can't debate Messi and Ronaldo anymore.
That's cancelled.
That's out of the window. We should be debating Ronaldo and Zlatan now. We can't debate Ronaldo and Messi anymore. I'm sorry, Ronaldo fans, but you guys are not qualified for this debate anymore.
Unfortunately.
Ronaldo, he's a great player. He's one of the greatest players, but Messi is the best player in his generation.
There's levels.
That's facts.
Yep.
There's no player in his generation better than him.
Facts.
He has won everything there is to in the game. Messi is career mode, literally. Messi is career mode.
He's a game, bro. He's a computer
He's career
game.
mode. Because if you look at his record from the under-20s, coming up to the Argentinian team, yes, people said he has not won anything with Argentina, but he's just won 3 trophies with Argentina. He's won the Copa America, he's won the Filiminazo trophy, then
Olympics.
And he's won the Olympics. No, let's forget the Olympics.
No,
he won
let's
that
add it now.
Okay, let's add the Olympics. Then he's won now the World Cup, the biggest prize you can ever win in international football. And for me, that argument is over now. Now we are discussing: is he better than Pele? Is he better than Maradona? And is he better than the Zidane, the Gerd Müllers of this world? Because to be honest with you, he is now on that level. He is now on that level. And for me, people can even legitimately say he's better than Pele. Because Pele never played in Europe. Pele never won a Ballon d'Or, which is not Pele's fault because the Brazilians, obviously, Brazil refused to sell him because he saw him as a national treasure.
Yeah, for sure.
But at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, he's the highest South American goal scorer. That is Pele's field. Do you understand? World Cup, this is his first World Cup. I don't know if he has outscored Pele in the World Cup.
I'm not sure. 100%. Let us know, viewers, though.
I don't know if he has outscored Pele in the World Cup. Pele has 3 World Cups, but the second one he won, he didn't play in it. He was injured.
But
it's the
still
1970
Cups,
one and the 58.
Yeah,
we know.
Yeah.
But now we're looking at a player who has won 4 Champions League titles, 10 La Liga titles, 8 Spanish Cups, about 4 Super Cups. He has won a Copa America. He has won a World Cup. He's won 7 Ballon d'Ors.
Bro.
He's won so many Pichichi titles.
Bro,
so many golden shoes. So
goal of the season.
the season.
The accolades.
So what are we saying? He probably is the greatest player ever.
And then to cap it off, can it be? Because we were having a debate with someone earlier, talking about who should have got the player of the tournament. And don't get me wrong, Mbappe, exceptional tournament. He's clearly the game changer. But for a player at 35 to not only captain, but carry your country and play a pivotal role in it at 35 years old, and then capping it off in the final with 2 more goals, come on. He's player of the tournament. He's like, you know me, I'm a Zizou guy. Zizou be my guy. Zidane is, for me, my GOAT. But even now, after watching last night, it hurts me to admit, he's taken over Zidane. Messi is the greatest ever.
He is better than Zidane. He is better than every number 10 we could think about. I don't know about Pele. That's that. But he is the best.
Do you think even the Maradona lovers can deny him now? Because the World Cup is what they carried over his head.
Well, between him and Maradona, it depends on, I don't know. But I know that in football he has achieved more than Maradona. Maradona can
not even close.
He's not even close. But obviously in Argentina, that's a different argument. But now that he has delivered, it's left for them to decide who is greater. But I think both of them, they are both great in their own ways. And for Messi, it's been a very hard journey for him on the international stage. Being said, he's not one of them. He's not one of their own.
He retired.
He's more Spanish.
He cares
about Barcelona more. And he has shut his critics up.
All of them.
And right now, there is no denying it. He is the king.
Ankara Messi.
He is the king. So who can dispute that?
Nobody right now, man.
Nobody.
Messi the GOAT, World Cup winner.
Please, Ronaldo fans, you should just keep. In fact, you can even argue with you already now. Say, match them together.
Kylian Mbappe. It's kind of bittersweet for him. Obviously, most goals in the World Cup. I think he's France's highest scorer in World Cups now. I do believe. I think so. A hat trick in a World Cup final. The first player to do that since Jeff Hurst in 1966. But he now ended up on the losing side. What is next for Kylian Mbappe?
Greatness.
Yeah?
Greatness. Sometimes you have to lose. Messi lost the final too, but Mbappe has already won a World Cup. Mbappe has won a league title with Monaco and Paris Saint-Germain. He turns 24 soon. And in the next World Cup, he'll be 27 or 28. He'll be in his prime, in his peak of his powers. And some players are lucky to even qualify for the World Cup. He's already a winner. He was a winner at 18.
Played in 2 finals.
So, do you understand? Another hat trick. And with the French, you know they're always going to be there.
For sure. Their talent rail is just too much.
The sky is the limit. In fact, the sky is not the limit. The sky is just his footstool because Mbappe is a player with so much potential. People talk about Mbappe like he's the finished article.
Bro, and he's not even 25.
People talk about it like he's the finished article. Like there's so much room for improvement. There's so much things he's yet to achieve. And for me, if he makes that move to Real Madrid, he can win the Champions League.
Facts.
He can do so many things. He can still win the Ballon d'Or because the Messi and Ronaldo era is over. Well, Messi can still win another Ballon d'Or. You never know after this World Cup victory. But Mbappe, for me, he is the future of football and the face of French football. Sorry.
Before this tournament, a lot of people were saying things about Mbappe like he's overrated or his ego's too big. He needs to focus on his football. Haaland's a better player than him anyway. All these different things people were saying. But Do you think he's answered all the critics correctly in this tournament, even though he did lose the final? Do you think he has, and you think there's still more to come?
I think anybody who is criticizing Mbappe just wants to make a headline. Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. No footballer is perfect. They're all human beings. But on the pitch, he delivers. That's the most important thing. Does he deliver on the pitch? Yes, he does deliver on the pitch. He does for PSG. He does for France. And this guy is a young man. And people forget that the French, they came in with injuries. No Benzema, no Pogba, no Kante, no Kimpembe. Their first choice, Nkunku, their first choice left back got injured on the first game. So Didier Deschamps had to mix and match, you know.
Griezmann number 10.
Do you understand? Do a lot of patch here. And at the end of the day, they still went to a final. And unfortunately for them, they turned up at the wrong time in the game. That's what cost them. So it's not all Mbappe's fault that France didn't win, but Mbappe delivered. He's the top goal scorer of the tournament for me, if not because the world loves Messi. He's the player of the tournament.
For sure.
He's broken a record that was around for years. He's the first young player to score in a final. Now he's done a hat-trick. You see the progression here. So anybody who is saying this, that by Mbappe, they just want to make a headline. 100%. Or they personally don't like the guy. For me, he's a world-class talent, and he can be, and if not, he is the best player in his generation.
Right. Even though Messi did win the World Cup, for me, Mbappe is still the best in the world, for me. Right now, as great as this achievement is for Messi, right now, and you can see it was kind of, him scoring the hat-trick in the finals, like passing over the torch. Messi saying, okay, now collect. You have to collect your own loss in this final first. Come back stronger, because we're talking about it. Maybe he needed this loss to be more grounded, make him be more hungry for it, because he was inconsolable from the Sheikh, from the president of France. No one could console him yesterday. Maybe he needed that fire in his belly. Who knows? They could have a more impactful Champions League run in the second half of the season for PSG. He might decide, do you know what? I need to stop hiding myself in France and go into the big boys and go to play for a Real Madrid, or maybe even enter the Premier League. But no one can say this guy is not exceptional. And he is the reason that France got to the final, because his moments of brilliance, it would just take 3 minutes here, 4 minutes there. Mbappe's changed the game. France are in the lead. And it nearly worked that one last time. But as they say, when it goes down to penalties, now look, you've done everything you can to make it there. Now look.
And they lost in an honourable way.
Exactly, and he scored his penalty.
And to be honest with you, it's kind of like revenge, because the last World Cup, it was the French who knocked out the Argentina. And Mbappe was the main reason.
And you win some, you lose some, right?
You win some, you lose some. To win, you have to lose. That's the fact about life.
Kylian, you have nothing to be worried about. Exceptional career ahead. Highlights of the World Cup. Well, we can actually look back now on an exceptional tournament. Give a round of applause for Qatar as well, because everybody said, because they don't know much about football, the restrictions there, it's going to be a bad World Cup, it's in December and blah, blah, blah. But I believe Qatar answered all the critics. And at the end of the day, it was an exceptional World Cup, and they'll always be known as the Messi World Cup.
And Qatar proved that you don't have to drink to enjoy a football match. To be honest with you, with the less drinking, there was no violence.
The women and children enjoyed themselves.
Exactly. So that should tell you that they made it more family orientated, and you could see that. And they delivered a very fantastic World Cup, well organized. I loved the show, and obviously one of our Nigerian artists performed, and I was very happy with that. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a great World Cup. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the World Cup.
Real talk. And as we both said, it could never be myself and Kanebi's best World Cup, regardless of how good it could have potentially been, because Nigeria weren't there. Emotional investment, no, they there, so it's different. But for me, one of the highlights of the tournament was, even though they didn't get far in the tournament, exceptional result for Saudi Arabia against Argentina, beating them 2-1 after going a goal down. For me, the fact that it wasn't like a lucky game, 2 very well taken goals in that game, and I mean that game will go down in Saudi history. Maybe it didn't get them into the next second round, but what a game, especially beating the champions now.
And apparently Saudi Arabia, they're trying to host the World Cup. For me, my highlight for me obviously will always be Messi winning the World Cup. I think Messi winning the World Cup is my highlight, because it's something that he has desired, he has fought for. People have hounded him for, but he's done it now, so everybody can keep quiet. And also, of course, Morocco. Morocco, even though they didn't win the third place game, they came fourth in the World Cup.
That's massive.
They did Africa and the Arab nations very proud. And I think this will also open more slots for Africa in the future in the World Cup. And what they did, they really opened doors for Africa with this one. And shout out to Morocco. For me, they're the winners of this World Cup in their own way. And hopefully they can keep carrying the torch for African football.
For sure. And I believe this World Cup showed, I know not enough of us got through to the second round in terms of African nations, but watching the games, I believe it showed our footballers evolved in Africa, because there was a lot more movement, tactics involved, rather than the normal pace and power that they usually try and group into us. I saw some good patterns of play.
Yeah.
Although it also shows us that we are starving on this continent for a prolific number 9. Because if we had to say one thing about the African nations this tournament, is all of them were missing that clinical number 9, which could have really changed it up. I mean, for another highlight for me was Abubakar scoring a winner against Brazil, but also for me, top 3 goals of the tournament he scored for me. People are gonna disregard it because it was a VAR situation, but Kanebi, what a goal!
I think it was the goal of the tournament for me. Mbappe's goal in the final might give it a
run for the money, movement.
Run for the money and the movement. And the goal Croatia scored against Morocco, the second one, oh my God. That was
counter-attack, right?
That was a very good set-place goal. It was a great tournament. A lot of breakthrough stars like the likes of Arabat, they have come through, and people who never really knew about these players, people now know about these players. And it's very good for the game. It's also good for Africa. And unfortunately, Nigeria could not make it. Hopefully, they can make it to the next World Cup with more slots available. I hope you guys can do your work. But it was a great World Cup. Another 4 years to wait.
To wrap up, I would say, who are 2 players from this World Cup that you can see lighting up the next World Cup?
Of course, Mbappe.
Yeah.
And
no, that's easy. Let's move Mbappe to the side, because that's a bit easier.
From a young player's point of view, I would like to see Julian Alvarez.
Okay.
Julian Alvarez had a very good
World Cup.
In fact, he changed Argentina's front.
Sure.
You know, if Lautaro Martinez was there, oh my God.
They won't win anything.
But Julian Alvarez and of course, I would like to see Jude Bellingham. And Bukayo Saka, sorry.
For sure.
Bukayo Saka
okay,
too.
so Bellingham, Saka, I think he's definitely going to have a big one. Who's the first one?
Julian
Alvarez. For me, I would say on top of that, I agree with all those players because they all showed glimpses. But one guy that we didn't get to see enough of, but I think he'll have a big tournament next time, is Musiala. He looked very good in every game that he played in.
Facts.
If I see him having a big following World Cup. And last of all, because I still think he's quite young, and I believe they'll come back stronger, Kudus, because he's still a raw player. I don't think he's quite figured out his position, but watch out for him the next 4 years, and I believe in the next year or two, he'll get a big move, and that's going to massively impact his nation, Ghana.
Facts.
Oh yeah, now the World Cup don't finish. What a tournament it was. Qatar 2022, Argentina champions, Messi's World Cup. It's been me, your guy, Kunle, aka the Niger Englishman.
And Kanebi, aka Mr. Go Ball.
And catch us for the rest of the season, because we're coming back next Monday with club football. Oh yeah now.